Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Sunday, March 17th. Um, this would be St. Patrick's Day, I believe. But I want to cover this story real quick. This is kind of important, and it's the mainstream is giving it a miss. And this is Basel III. And I'm not going to read this whole article. In fact, there's conjecture in this article, but I want to keep this to the facts. Um, March 29th is a special date according to the Bank of International Settlements. It means that gold, for the first time since 1971, will be considered by central banks around the world and the IMF and the Bank of International Settlements as a Tier 1 asset. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, believe it or not, central banks have considered gold the same price that it was when it stopped being used as money in 1971 because of Richard Nixon. And I believe that's at $42.50 per ounce. Now, we all know that gold's at $1,300 an ounce, but they, on a balance sheet for a central bank, they counted it as, I believe, $42.50 an ounce, even though they were paying $1,300 for it when they were buying it, like right now. If they were buying it, back in 2008, it was $800 an ounce. I don't remember the exact pricing going back in time, but this is really important, gang. I want you to understand something here. Central banks have been hoarding gold for about the last 6 years. This includes the Bank of China, the Bank of Japan, the central bank in Turkey has been hoarding gold, Russia, and we're not quite sure what our Federal Reserve does because everything they do seems to be a giant secret. But what that means to you and me is that central banks will be able to use that at fair market value on their balance sheets. So that means central banks will be able to print more money because they will be holding gold as a reserve. Now, the title of the article here is Gold Becomes Money. Well, not technically. Not technically. It's being held as a reserve so they can print more money. They're valuing the money against the gold so they can print more of it. That's what it really means. And it's Basel III. And I'll link this story down below so you guys can read the entire thing. But I want you guys to consider something. Anyone who's watching this video. Central banks are hoarding this stuff at $1,300 an ounce right now. They're paying $1,300 an ounce. At least that's my impression. I don't think they're getting any, discounts. If they're doing that, shouldn't we be doing that? If central banks are hoarding gold in large, large quantities, I mean, literally, central bank gold reserves, Turkey, India, China, Russia, it's going up. You can see here on the charts. But we've known this in our Discord chat. I mean, we've been covering this for a long, long time. We always ask the question, why are central banks hoarding gold? They're manipulating the price down through the paper markets, gold and silver, and for that matter, platinum. Why would they be hoarding something that they're artificially suppressing? And the only answer was someday it's going to come to fair market value and they're going to stop suppressing the price of it. That's the only reason for them to be hoarding this stuff. Now, we could go into a bigger idea that we're all kind of going towards a monetary debt reset. And every time in history that's happened, and it happened a lot through history, and it doesn't matter, name a country, they've gone through it. And we're going to go through it too, I believe. But that is how you revalue your current. That's how you value your old currency against your new currency, is with gold. Lots of books have been written about this. Mike Maloney talks about this on YouTube. It's an important fact. It is a fact. It's not conjecture. It's not opinion. It's not speculation. It is a fact. With central banks hoarding gold and now gold becoming a Tier 1 asset through Basel III, through the Bank of International Settlements, which all central banks have to follow, something's going to happen. Something big. So I don't know. Like I said, that's speculation on my part now. But it is something to consider. If central banks are hoarding this stuff, and this stuff is about to become a tier one asset for central banks, logically, that tells me they're about to start printing money. All these central banks are about to start printing a lot of money. That means you probably want to protect your wealth. So, I'll tell you what I do. I'm not a financial consultant. I don't claim to be. But I hold gold and silver and also a little bit of crypto. So these are the only undervalued assets that I feel are probably going to go up in a hyperinflation. I also have food, 25-year shelf life food. And it's not because I think my grocery store is going to be empty and there won't be any food to eat. It's because the price of food is going to go up. When they print money, you start having inflation, big inflation, in some cases like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, hyperinflation. Weimar Republic, Germany, you guys all know the stories. But that's what happens when central banks print lots and lots of money. The price of everything goes up because there's more money chasing the same amount of goods. So that's just a natural supply-demand thing here. So consider this, something to study. But you're out of time. March 29th is the date that Basel III hits. I'm not going to pretend to tell you I know exactly what's going to happen on that day, or if gold is going to start going up immediately on March 29th, or silver, or platinum, or crypto, or anything. I'm just saying 29th is the date that that physical gold becomes a tier one asset for the first time since 1971. Also on that date, we're not sure what's going on yet. We're looking into it, is the Brexit. So interesting how these two are coinciding. And is it going to be a hard Brexit or are they going to delay? I don't know. I don't know. We'll look into that. We'll do a podcast on it. But I'm just making you guys aware of this story. Under Basel III rules, gold becomes money. But it's like I said, it's not really money. It's not like you can go down to the convenience store with an ounce of gold and buy $1,300 worth of gas. It's not like that. However, money will be printed based on gold being a resource held by central banks is becoming revalued at fair market value. So money printing could become a big issue here real soon, a problem. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I thank you very much for taking a few minutes to listen in on this. This is an important story. I will link it below. You guys all have a wonderful day.